good, YouTube? This hood is really light. Giddy up! If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like because it helps the channel to grow. On with the video. This is an Audi R8. This is a 2011 model, but these cars were first developed back in 2006, but you didn't see them on the shores of the US until 2007. Now, coming up in 2022, that's going to be the last model of the R8 that Audi does, and then they're going to, I believe, focus on electric cars, hybrid cars, stuff like this. So I expect the price of this car to actually go up because they're going to become even more rare, and you hardly ever see these on the street, which is why so many people love looking at them. So let's take a look at the front. Obviously you've got the typical Audi emblem, which I think looks great, and then you've got the Quattro sign down here. If you didn't know, Quattro just means Audi's all-wheel drive system. And then you've got this big grille, which this is not functional, it's all filled in, but this does have a gap in it. So it is functional, as are these huge side vents. So that does go through to feed air into the engine. You also see these beautiful LED running lights, and the rest of the lights when you turn them on are very attractive as well. I mean, the car just means business. And the hood is not anything doesn't have like crazy lines on it. I mean, you can see this line that goes down this side and another line down the left side, and that's basically it. But the hood doesn't need to be over the top to make it look beautiful. This particular car does come with a lot of carbon fiber on the inside and also on these wing mirrors. So as you see, you've got the wing mirrors that has the carbon fiber pattern, and then you also have these turn signals built into the wing mirrors. Comes with these Pirelli P0 tires, and it does have a staggered setup. So it has 235s, 35 RE 19s on the front, and as you see when we move to the back, it's got a much meatier, much thicker wheel on the back. But if you notice, you've got these amazing looking slotted two-piece rotors. They're actually 14.4 inches on the front and on the back. And by the looks of these calipers, I'm not sure how many piston calipers they are, but it looks like they would at least be 4 to 6 pistons. So you have really good stopping power on this car. If you go down the side of it, you'll see the lines are freaking awesome. You've got this crease right here on the belt line, and then it curves and goes all the way down like this, and then you see you've got these huge vents that actually feeds air into the engine. The engine's in the back. I said that those vents up front fed air into the engine, but I was wrong. It helps to cool the brakes, the ones at the front. But these vents are actually huge if you take a look. And on some of the other models of the R8, it has a different style, and I'll probably put a picture up on the screen. And usually this is a different color, like it will be black. It'll be a yellow car with like a big black piece, and I actually hate the look of that. So I like it more like this on the earlier style of R8. And then you've got this cool aluminum style gas cap that also says R8 on it. And if you take a look at the rear wheel, you can see it is a much bigger wheel. So it's a smaller sidewall, but it's 305 on the width. So it's 305 by 30 millimeters on the sidewall, whereas the front was 35 millimeters, and it's still a 19 inch. So you've got tons of meat to put the power down to the ground. And then coming around to the back, awesome design. This is one of my favorites. Now, the engine is under here, which I'll show you in a second. You can't see too much of it because of the convertible top has to go there. Now, if you have the coupe version, then a lot of them have a glass cover where you can actually see the whole engine. And this is a little kick-up spoiler that goes up when you get to a certain high speed, or you can manually put it up. And you've got these awesome, amazing looking quad tip exhausts, which you'll hear the sound of it. They sound really good. These vents at the back too are also functional. So you have a lot of cars nowadays where they look like they have functional vents, but in reality they're just fake. Now that the top's down, let's go ahead and take another look at it. Come on. You know that this is a pretty car. If you say that this is not an attractive car, then you are just not a car person whatsoever. I mean, the car looks good with the roof up, but man, when you take that roof down, it has an even more aggressive look. Let me go ahead and get all the windows down. Woo! Man, oh man. I tell you what, my Camaro interior is tight, but this car, its interior is way tighter than my Camaro. I'll tell you that. Oh yeah. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, this car is expensive compared to a C8 Corvette, and that's true, but you're going to see C8 Corvettes everywhere. This thing, you only see it every now and again, once in a blue moon, which that's what makes this car special. It's not an everyday car. You don't see it all the time. Okay, so moving on to the interior. Like I said earlier, the car does have a lot of carbon fiber on it. So it's got carbon fiber on the door here, carbon fiber on the door seal where you walk in, and then you do have this nice aluminum badge that says R8, and then you've got a little bit of carbon fiber here on the center console. It might be real carbon fiber, but if I'm being completely honest, it looks kind of cheap. And then down here on the pedals, you've got nice aluminum pedals for the brake and the gas and the footrest. And then you've got this beautiful Audi steering wheel. Thickness on it is absolutely perfect. You've got these large 10 and 2 notches, and then the gauges are analog. Remember, this is a 2011, so it's not going to have all of the digital stuff like you used to today. And perfect looking dash. This stuff looks nice, but if I'm being completely honest, it feels just as cheap as the interior on my Camaro. This doesn't necessarily feel super high spec. This stuff is super hard plastic. The buttons feel kind of cheap, and the radio, we won't really judge that because it's a product of its time. And obviously the center gauge is super duper basic as well. But visibility in the car is actually really good. The visibility in this car is a lot better than what it is on my Camaro. Glove compartment is pretty small and pretty tight. And then you've got these two useless cup holders, a little bit of storage space back here, and then a tiny bit of storage back here too. All of this stuff is really cheap plastic. The seats are very well bolstered and they've held up pretty well considering this is a 2011. I don't see any rips in the seat, but the bolstering is really good on the bottom and on the side, so it does hold you in place. And even the door panels don't feel like it's a premium material, so that part is a little bit disappointing. I do like the style of the driver's arm pull to close the door. It's kind of open, which I've never seen that on a car before. And I do like the fact that the wing mirrors are quite large and you can see out of it good. And then you do have a really small rear view mirror. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the heart of the beast, which is Audi's 4.2 litre V8. You can see it's got two throttle bodies, two intakes, and it does push 430 horsepower, 317 foot-pounds of torque, 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds. I believe the quarter mile, I'll put it on the screen because I don't remember that off the top of my head, but I think it's 13.2 or 13.6, somewhere around that. I'll put it on the screen. And the car sounds awesome. I mean, I don't know if it's coming over camera, but the car sounds like an awesome high revving V8, and it is high revving. A lot of times you almost wonder, when are you going to change gear? But like I said, 2022 is the last year of this car, so cars that are looked after, these R8s, I'm sure that they're going to go up gradually in price because the demand for them is going to be high. Only thing I don't like about the Spyder is that you can't see the full engine like you can in the coupe versions when people open the top. There we go. We go slow, and then we gun it. Right away from the jump that the car is very stiff, extremely stiff suspension, and the car is very low down to the ground, and it is not really made for tall people. I definitely am feeling cramped in this car. Okay, I just got on it then just a little bit. I really wasn't even on it too much, and it shifts kind of brutal, I'm not even gonna lie. And it kicked me back in the seat. So the car, the horsepower numbers are not really that crazy. I mean, it's only, what, 430 horsepower and 317 foot-pounds of torque, which is not that much when you consider that a new Mustang GT makes 460 horsepower and 420 foot-pounds of torque, and the cars weigh about the same, around about 3,600 pounds. So it has lower numbers, but for some reason this car just feels like it has so much more torque than a standard Mustang, which is weird. But one of the main differences between obviously a Coyote engine and this engine is this thing is so high revving. Okay, let's get on the highway right now. Do you hear that sound? Now I know it's the V8 and it's not the V10, but the car still makes a crazy sound. Let me get on it one more time. Oh Lord. Woo. Hey. Okay. You do not want to know what the speeds I was doing then were. I'll tell you that. Oh my gosh. The steering wheel feels excellent. It's a perfect thickness, perfect size. The gear changes on this are not that quick. It doesn't change as quick as, say, a ZF8 speed. It doesn't change as fast as, say, a Mustang GT with the 10 speed. But there's something brutal about it that kicks you back in your chair every time you put your foot down. Let's go again. Woo-hoo! Oh gosh, the car is high revving, very high revving. It's only a 6-speed automatic, whereas cars nowadays have an 8-speed or a 10-speed even. So 6 speeds, you know, it's not that much. But you got to think, this is a 2011. So for the time that this car came from, this is more than sufficient. Let's get on it. Normal mode. Merging onto the highway. Let's go. Woo! Car just grips. Yes! Let's go! Okay, that's normal mode. Man, all-wheel drive is the truth. Just hugs the road like crazy. Like absolute crazy. The missus told me, when you drive that car, be careful. And this is me being careful. I love you, honey.